Creek.
Hey everybody, it's been a while. I haven't really done a video this year. It's just been a crazy year of all this stuff going on and family things, and so we've been up here at the property a few times and worked on mostly interior work on the building, and we started building out a new bathroom because, as you know, we have videos on this bathhouse out here that we've had that for several years now, and it's that 7x7 Rubbermaid shed, and it's never blown away, and it's awesome. There's a good video on that if you want to learn how to make one of those so they're windproof. A lot of the reviews are like, oh, it blew down in the first week. But there's some stuff we did specifically to prevent that. And the winds up here in the winter are 40 to 55 miles an hour a lot. And that thing has never moved. So go check those videos out if you're interested. But that's been our bathhouse for a long time. But we did start moving the bathroom on the inside of the building here. And so that's almost done. That's a lot of what we've been doing. I don't tend to show interior stuff much. However, we're back starting on some more projects here. One of the ones we're going to be working on really soon that I know a lot of people have been asking about is water catchment. We have our new tanks here. There's one here and one here. They're actually going to be moved down here where the catchment system will be put in. That's the next project we're starting. So I have a lot of the parts up here. I went and picked up the big tanks, threw them on the trailer, brought them up here and dropped them off a couple weeks ago and left them. That's why they're kind of sitting here. They're pretty heavy, so they have to be kind of slid or rolled down to where they're going to go, but I need to get that area prepped for that. And then we'll get the catchment hooked up, so look forward to that. I'm going to do one video of the whole project rather than a little bit as I go along. It's a little easier for me, so might be a little bit before I have that video, but when it's done, it should be end-to-end footage of us kind of building that whole thing out, and I'll do a walkthrough. One of the reasons I'm doing a video today is because I'm really excited. We finally got the incinerator toilet system put in, which I had mentioned long ago. We picked it up about a little over a year ago, but I didn't want to put it in anywhere. I didn't want to put it in over here and then have to tear it out and move it because I knew we were going to put a bathroom in over here. So I just finished installing it. I did record some video of kind of a walkthrough of it. So I'm going to share that with you. It's only a few minutes long, so you can kind of see how it works, what it is. We'll keep you posted on how it goes. So far, it's awesome. But again, we'll use it for a while and see what the experience is like. But it is nice because no water is required. You need just a tiny amount of 12 volt DC and then propane, and that's it. So there's no sewer to run, any of that stuff. But I'll do a walkthrough on that here to share with you guys. And then hopefully coming up pretty soon, we'll have a water catchment video and share that with you as well. Okay, we got the incinerator toilet all installed. The exhaust flue goes out the back behind the wall there outside. I'll show that to you, and it goes up through the roof and out the top. And I just got all the propane connections made and used my testers right here and checked all of the connections. I have a second tester I have down there on the floor because propane's heavier than air, so it sinks down to the ground. So I just leave one on the floor and then use my really good one to kind of check all the connections, and everything's perfect. Gas is on. So we're going to power it up for the first time, and we should get a display here and probably a beep, and let's see what happens. This is the 12 volt DC right here. So I installed a little jack there that goes back to the solar DC. We're just going to plug her in and like that, and let's see what we get. Oh, a happy beep. No warning lights, no gas lights, which if it's flashing means gas isn't there. There we go, English language. Cinderella gas. Ready for use. Pretty cool. So, looks like it works. It didn't explode. So let's run the initial test. What they have you do is they have you throw a filter in. There the fan kicked on because I opened the lid. So it's like, oh, hey, you're going to use me. What you do on these is they're real simple. You just drop a liner in. And the main reason for the liner is that it keeps the whole inside the stainless steel part clean, so you know you don't have goo and everything sticking to that, and then it incinerates everything that falls through the liner. So when you close it and start it, that'll just drop through into the bottom. So we're going to throw in a few things like some water. How much do you go when you go? Like that? Depends on how old you are, right? We'll throw in a little bit of water. Yeah, maybe a little more. And then we'll throw in a bunch of TP. Throw this in. The main reason for this first test is just to make sure it incinerates everything correctly. It'll run for about 90 minutes or less. Do the full incineration, and then you pull the ash bin out and you make sure that the ash is actually the right color, which means it incinerated correctly. So anyways, you do your business, you close it up, lid is open, now it says I'm ready, and you can just say start. There, it dropped the, so if I look in there, go on, it dropped it in. Now if it's going to start incinerating, but the next person comes in and is like, oh, I really got to go. You don't have to wait for it. If you open the lid, which I did, it's like, oh, the lid is open, and it will wait and then let somebody go. So I heard it ignite. It's really quiet. I mean, you can hear the fan, but I can hear the gas in the background. Now, the nice thing is it says, okay, I'm incinerating, but I'm also ready for use. So the great thing about it is, even though it takes a while to incinerate, you don't have to wait to use it. You can go ahead and use it while it's incinerating. And when you open the lid, it kind of pauses what it's doing and waits for you to go, and then keeps going on the incineration. They claim 3 uses at once before you have to incinerate, so you know, we'll have to see how that goes. We'll try it out. I think if you had a really busy house, like you're using one of these in a house with a bunch of kids and stuff, you might have to really figure out like the usage pattern of it. What I read was that they were basically like, just don't worry about it. As long as, you know, somebody hits start at some point, it'll be fine. So it is incinerating right now. So all you hear, the loud noise you hear is the fan, which is running until it's cooled down. And you can probably hear a low rumble. I'm not sure if it comes through on the phone, but you can hear a low rumble. That's actually the incinerator, which is super quiet. I thought that'd be louder. The yellow light here means I'm incinerating. Green means I'm all good and I have power and I'm happy. If anything's wrong, this red will flash. Then there's combinations of those, and you can look in the book on charts to say like, oh, hey, you know, you need to empty the ashtray. And it will also display on here. If there's problems, it will display there. So there it goes. We'll come back and check on it when it's done, and it basically runs the fan until it thinks it's cool enough for you to pull the ash bin out, and then it'll shut the fan off. So when you come in and it's all quiet, that means it's, you know, if you want to pull the ash bin and empty it, you can. You can get quite a few uses out of the ash bin before you have to empty it. It's not like you have to do it all the time. I mean, unless you got like 10 people using it all day long. So good start. It's all working. Let's see how this goes, and we'll come back and check it in a little while. Another thing I wanted to mention was when we bought the incinerator toilet, we also ordered this urinal, which is super cool. It's just a basic, it's just a urinal, right? It's got a nice seat. It's actually really comfortable to sit on. It's really solid, and it is just drains right out into the gray tank system. So the idea there is no solids obviously going in, any liquids. But the main idea is that, you know, if you only have to go number 1 and you're not going to run out into the woods and pee off the deck, or you need to sit down or whatever, you use this thing instead of the incinerator toilet. And the reason for that is to save fuel. So you can certainly use this for that if you want. It'll pretty much incinerate anything. However, you know, if it's just liquid, then if you put it in here, you don't waste all the propane and run the cycles on this thing. So we actually got that because that's really handy. So, you know, even late at night, instead of going outside in the woods, I just can come in here and go. So yeah, that was kind of a nice add-on. They fit right there side by side. This thing's really inexpensive. It's pretty neat. It doesn't need a P-trap, no pun intended, which would suck for a urinal because then it would smell all the time. Inside here, that's replaceable. Below that is this little rubber bladder. that's kind of flat, and it allows the liquid to pass through, and after it passes through, it closes itself, so no smells can come back up through, or critters. And it's pretty cool. Like, I don't know how long they last. We've been using the urinal for about a year now, and it's the bladder's fine, but they do sell replacements. I'll probably keep one around. But anyways, you can replace that if it starts to smell or anything, but that thing's been perfect. The only other thing we do is, if we do use it, is we dump some water down it. And I mostly do that just to push everything you just did right down the pipes, so they don't just sit in the drain pipes. Eventually roll out, but that keeps the smell out as well. So I actually installed this little sprayer here, which is actually for a bidet. If you want to have a bidet on your normal toilet at home, this is what you get, and it hangs on there. What I did was installed that just here on our own, and once it's hooked up to the water, you'll just be able to spray in there for a little bit and you'll be done. Right now we just have this little water jug, but that'll be nice, just be able to spray in there and set it back. So this is the exhaust system I was talking about. This is, it's running right now. This pipe's actually nice and toasty. Yeah, in the winter you can come get warm. This, is the other side of the toilet's on the other side of this, obviously. So this unit comes out here, goes up, penetrated through the eave there, but then goes up there, and it has a special topper on it to help with the airflow for this specific system. So I have not put in, you can see the roof flashing piece there, the rubber. I have not put that in yet. It's just sitting there ready. It's really hot today, like 95. So I'm waiting for a little later in the evening, then I'll climb on the roof because the shingles are hot. This thing comes with all the parts you see here. So all these brackets that come off and extended off the wall, clamp onto here. These are pretty interesting. So there's a rubber seal inside this that's already there, and you kind of lube it up a little bit, and this pipe will slide right in and kind of lock in place there. And then this clamp, you already have it on there. You go down and you snap it here, and it's here, and it sits on the edge there, and it's actually supposed to be an angle like that because it puts pressure on the pipe so that it can't move. They're really hard to move even without that, but I kind of like that. It's like an add-on little extra safety thing. The one thing I haven't done, I need to do, is right here is there's a special, you can feel hot air coming out of there. There's a special condenser piece that goes here because obviously, the change in temperature in this thing produces condensation. So it allows the condensation to come out of the pipe. And I've not put that on because I should, because some of the exhaust is coming out here instead of going up the pipe. Since I'm just burning some paper right now and water, I'm not worried about it, but let me find it. It's this guy right here. So I need to install that. And it can just drain right out here because it's just water is all. But she does have the ability to stick a hose on it. You can run the hose over and put it into a drain if you wanted to. Or if this pipe's on the inside, you can hook that to a drain so it doesn't get all over the floor. You can actually run this whole piping system inside the building too. It's designed to hook to the toilet and go up the inside wall and out your ceiling. I didn't want it inside because we're very limited on space. And this can be really close to the toilet. So if this was inside, the toilet would be like right here. So anyways, wanted to show you all that. It's pretty cool. So we're going to put this thing on, what I was just talking about. Pull it out of the bag. So it's a short john ball valve siphon. And there we go. So it's all mounted on there. There's a gasket up there. You can see there's a ball there that floats to allow water to pass out. So I think that also helps if water comes in from rain down the tube. It goes in here and doesn't run into the toilet, which does go right into the incinerator bin. So I don't think it would damage anything, but it's probably ideal not to have it fill up with water, right? So, and then like I mentioned earlier, I'm going to cut a piece right now to go around this, finish it off. Should be good to go. So it's been about 40 minutes is all, and I noticed the yellow light's off, which means the incineration process is done, and it now says cooling in progress. So we'll see how many minutes it takes it to cool down. That's pretty good to know. Another thing I got to do, this is obviously the vent out for the exhaust. You can actually see daylight out there. I just still need to build a plate around this and seal that up, and then I'll build a plate on the outside. I have some 6-inch board. I'll cut this 4-inch notch and put it around that. This might be a little wider. I might have to use an 8-inch board. I'll do the same on the outside. And then on the outside, the only thing I have left to do is actually put the flashing in on the roof line. It's sitting there, but I haven't put it up under the shingles yet. It's up to about 99 earlier. The building stays about 10 degrees cooler inside usually, so that wasn't too bad. It was nice to go in and it felt cooler because it was a good temperature drop. So anyways, it's cool enough now. I'm going to come up As you can see, this is the pipe we've been put in for the incinerator, and it's already done its cycle. It all works great. So now I need to just put this rubber flashing in, get it up under the shingles, seal it all up so the water doesn't leak through and get on the roof boards, and we'll be good to go. So I'm going to do that, and then this project will be all done. All nice and quiet now. Looks like it finished up. Done with its incineration and done with its cool down. So that's a normal state, ready for use. So since it's cooled down, let's take a look. So here's the incineration pan. You turn it straight out. It's pretty warm still. It just finished to cool down, so I probably would let it sit a little longer. It's pretty warm. That is literally all that's left. Obviously the water just evaporates, or the liquids do, and the toilet paper there, that's all that's left, is just that white ash, which is what you should expect. So you can see how obviously if there's some waste in there, there'll be a little more ash, but it can hold a lot before you really have to do anything. This right here is squawking at me because ash container is out of position, so I'm not going to empty it or anything. I'm just going to push it back into its spot. So you just push it back in, turn it, and it needs to lock into its spot, and then it's good to go. You just put the cover back on.